this uncertainty about that sector.
Yes.
Because much as government has gone ahead with this privatization, now we understand they paid. Was that the last batch? Not too sure. We'll double check on that.
Yeah.
But they recently have paid some other members of PACN who are handing off. But just as you said, the bills that people are talking about that they receive these days is a lot more. But we also did hear the minutes that talk about the fact that, well, the investments, it wasn't actually too conducive. So they had to do something about the prices so that investors can...
One, there's a fund which...
For that sector?
For that sector, yes. Government has set up a fund.
So you're seeing government's role, aren't you?
Government has set up, but they have not started assessing. It's on paper that fund will be made available so that they can use to grow that sector. But the thing is that...
The funds are available to the investors?
Will be available to the investors.
Okay.
To help grow the system. That's what we read in the paper. But the thing is that pricing, how are they going to control pricing? Now, they have a major
regulatory body.
There's a big challenge. Is it the same way that the telecoms? Is it the kind of pricing that they have? Where Nigeria pays higher than anywhere in the world per minute call.
Even now?
Even now.
Are we still paying higher than anywhere in the world, even now?
Even now. And they have a way of...
I don't agree with you, Mr. Nweze.
All right.
The reason I don't agree with you is this. I mean, even right now, we know that the bulk of Nigerians do pay as you go. You know that abroad, if you're doing a pay as you go system, you actually pay way higher than those on the contract system.
Now, when I get calls from overseas, they tell me it's more expensive for you to call me. It's cheaper for me to call you.
Because oftentimes it's either they're using their landlines, which we don't have here,
yeah,
or they're using a contract phone, which is actually cheaper on the long run. But if you're using the pay-as-you-go, as most people are in Nigeria, it's actually very much on the high side.
So we're saying the same thing. So why
I mean, abroad, it's on the high side abroad. That's what I meant, you know.
So, but the point is that with the level of teledensity, you know, and other things, they should be able to, we can afford to get calls cheaper in this country than you get in Ghana, for instance, than you get in Ivory Coast or some of these countries. We want to see that. So the back to the power, this thing, the electricity thing. So how is the pricing going to be? Now, other ancillary investment, other ancillary industries that will grow. For instance, meters. Are we still going to be using the old meters?
Mr. Nweze, I was just about to ask you, though. Just tell us, because it would seem to me that you do not have a prepaid meter, do you?
I don't. And I have applied, I have paid since last year.
That's strange.
Wow.
No, because they said that the thing is in the warehouse that they have not released for...
When last did you able to check? Well, I will just ask him, because we know that we pose certain questions to NERC.
Paying 65,000 naira every month.
Your house is large.
Did you say you live in the masses?
That is small. It's not even... I'm still living in
That must be a factory.
That's what I said.
The bill they brought on the 24th, on the 24th of December, these NEPA people came with their poles and started disconnecting, brought bills, expected people to go and pay.
And it was not accumulated.
It's not accumulated. How can I be paying? What am I consuming?
I just need to know the 65,000 naira was not the one that you haven't paid since January.
No, you see, because one is that some of the people that the new meter, for instance,
yes,
you're supposed to solve most of these problems and all that.
Yes.
But they are saying that even the NEPA official that wanted to assist, they transferred him to another place because he wanted to give people meter.
It's strange because from what we understand, the people shouldn't be having these problems anymore. But you understand?
In some select areas,
we will ask you. I mean, we'll have to keep calling you to find out how your journey has been in trying to get, because apparently you're still one of the Nigerians, one of the many Nigerians that have not been able to procure a meter. But are you optimistic?
Who has paid?
Yes. So I mean, but tell us, are you optimistic about what is happening in the power sector?
Yes, because this is the kind of thing that we have been talking about even in other forums and all that. That we need to really decentralize the power sector, even to the state level. Use the French system. The French system. Community can get together. They don't need to be linked. Everybody coming to
national grid.
Yes, you know, you have your own. You have your this thing. Every community, we have their own this thing. Okay, and another thing is that there's a huge opportunity in that sector if we can take advantage of it. Take for instance, Ebonyi State, which is my state, is a high rice producing area. But the value, it can increase the value chain of rice, which could be used to produce power for the state. We don't even need to link up to NEPA. We don't. These are some of the studies I have done and have made a contact with the United Nations body that could, you know, help.
In what way? In terms of what? Generation, transmission, or
generation? Because one, if you generate enough. And another thing, before I forget, please. Another thing is that places that have not been connected to the national grid, they don't have light in it, like my village. We don't have NEPA. We don't have light. And there's no plan in this thing to begin to. My question is it the private companies now that will begin to explore, to begin to give those people that never had light in their entire life light? Or is it to maintain the status quo?
Okay.
That's the question.
All right.
Okay, in the power of this thing. So we really need to think deep about this now, come up with policies that will help the entire, because the Western nations for over 50 years, they've been able to solve that problem. But Africa is still struggling, even after 55 years.
Okay, well, happy people who agree with you. Olufemi Dada says, we cannot talk of agri-revolution without electricity to drive science and to preserve the surplus. Yomi Dada says, each state should have research and development center on the best crops or minerals domiciled within it.
That's right.
Creating local growth. That way, it will help. And there's so many other comments. Just keep them coming in. I'd like to thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Dr. Austin Nwanze. We'll return after this to look at some comments coming from you out there. So, join us again if you can. Again, well, that's it. I see my guy squinting. I mean, without glasses, my laser sharp focus. I wonder, who else? Okay. What?
No, that shouldn't make a reference to you.
Yeah.
Yes, your laser sharp focus. Thank you. Thank God for help.
Okay, well, that's it today. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain, so.
Thank you for being wonderful company. I'm Malpe Ogun.
I'm Mel Tiger. Thank you for watching.